As Disney Smash Bros. Melee comes to a close, there's one thing we need to cover that I did not cover in most of the other videos, and that is stages. So, for this, I'm going to go into a list of stages, but first, let me cover one thing real quick. Not every playable character will get a stage, as some I just couldn't think of stages for, or had more unique stages from other franchises that aren't represented by fighters. To start off, all 9 stages from the original Disney Smash Bros. Will be returning, and that is Cinderella Castle, the Scare Floor, Pirate Cove, the Ice Palace, Duckburg, the Cape of Wonders, Andy's Room, Lahui Beach, and Steamboat Willie. Next, we're going to be covering the stages for the unlockable characters from the first game, as they did not have a stage in the original Disney Smash Bros. For Goofy, we're going with the road trip that him and his son Max take on the Goofy movie. This would be a chaotic stage where you are on locations traveling around, and it'd be kind of similar to the F-Zero stages where there'd be cars driving by and they could damage you, so you'd have to avoid them. Representing Pinocchio, we have Pleasure Island, the theme park island thing from the Pinocchio movie where all the boys transform into donkeys. There'd be items like the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster, I think there's a roller coaster, the fun house, and there would be boys running around causing chaos who would be hazards during the match. For The Incredibles, I'm going with a kind of more obscure stage, but one that I think brings a lot of variety, which is the Everjust, the yacht from the finale of The Incredibles 2. There would be supers attacking, and you could see Dash, Violet, and Elastigirl, as well as Frozone and other heroes that appeared in The Incredibles 2 in the background. And finally, for the unlockable characters, representing Winnie the Pooh, we have the 100 Acre Wood, where other characters from Winnie the Pooh, such as Rabbit, Tigger, Piglet, Eeyore, and others would appear in a forest-like stage. Then we'll get to the newcomers for Disney Smash Melee. Some of these characters will be skipped, but not the first one, as the stage representing Minnie Mouse will be Toontown, a cartoony stage from the Mickey Mouse franchise that many of you might know from Disneyland. There would be cartoon characters that would not be featured in this game running around in the background, such as Pete, Daisy Duck, maybe even some that are featured like Oswald, Mickey Mouse, but when you play as them, they would not be featured on the stage. Representing Maleficent, we have the Forbidden Mountain, which is her castle, and you could have a stage hazard of some of her minions, which would be pretty fun. Representing Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls, we have the Mystery Shack, which would be a very fun stage. Of course, you could see Stan, Seuss, and Wendy in the background, but also Dipper and Mabel if you're not playing as them on the stage, and this could include some fun stage hazards of creatures from Gravity Falls that weren't included in Dipper and Mabel's moveset. Representing both Mulan and Ping, as Mulan doesn't really deserve 2 stages in my opinion, we have the Imperial City from the climax of the first film, a giant temple with fireworks in the background, and maybe these fireworks could damage you while you're fighting. We're going to be skipping Doc McStuffins, as she doesn't have many ideas for a stage that could work, and we have more stages from characters who are not represented that are more interesting. Moving on to Chicken Little, we have Okie Square from the movie, the town that all the animals live in, and you could have a stage hazard of the falling sky at the end and the alien invasion, which could be a little bit interesting, and you could see characters from Chicken Little like, oh god, who are some characters from Chicken Little? I don't know. Moving on. Representing Perry the Platypus and the Phineas and Ferb franchise as a whole, what other could we pick other than Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated? The Doctor himself could be seen in the background using his innators, and this could be really interesting stage hazards as well, with the innators and other mechs that he's made, like Norm. I love Norm. And then, skipping over Arthur, as he doesn't really have that many interesting stage options, we are going to go to Magical World of Neverland to represent Jake the Pirate from Jake and the Neverland Pirates. His pirate ship Bucky would be a good stage, and you could also feature other characters from the show, like Izzy and Cubby. I finally figured out their names, thanks to Dylan S. in the comments. But if you are playing as them, of course they would not appear. and you could feature his bird, Scully. Representing possibly the most controversial character so far, Hades, is the underworld. So this would be a pretty basic stage with some floating platforms and maybe some of the titans or gods from Hercules in the background. Of course, you can't forget Pain and Panic also. Representing the Little Mermaid franchise and the character of Ursula is the sunken shipwreck, where you could see Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian hanging out in the background, swimming around, and just having fun in this shipwreck. Maybe, I don't know, doing some, fish and mermaid stuff. Anyway, we are going to skip over Aladdin, as we already have the Cave of Wonders, and not many other stages could work for him. Going over to Oswald for not a Mickey Mouse themed stage, but just a Disney animation themed stage, the Animator's Desk. This could feature the characters fighting on a desk, going to a sheet of paper, and maybe there could be an animator drawing characters on the sheet of paper that would not be referenced or used as a character or assist trophy in this game. Characters such as Lightning McQueen, maybe some Disney princesses, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, Simba, and etc. This would be a very fun stage that I would love to play on, and it would be kind of similar to PictoChat too, if you think about it. Getting into stages for characters who are not represented currently in Disney Smash Bros., except for some who I mentioned could be on the Animator's Desk stage, is Radiator Springs, which is our first stage, representing the Cars franchise. This could have characters such as Lightning McQueen, Mater, Doc Hudson. Wait, no, he's dead. Anyways, any character from Cars could be driving around in the background and racing, and you could see them, and they could probably cause some damage to you. They would probably hurt to get hit by a car. Anyways, moving on, we have Pride Rock from The Lion King, which would be a pretty basic stage, but if you got knocked off, you would get run over by the stampede of animals that was probably featured in the film, and would be very similar to Yoshi's Final Smash in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Representing Alice in Wonderland, we have, Wonderland. This would be a very fun moving stage where you'd move to different locations and see characters like the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, the White Rabbit, the Queen of Hearts and her cards, and etc. Many characters from Alice in Wonderland would be featured. As well, the Queen of Hearts may be featured in a later video. Most other characters from Alice in Wonderland I couldn't really see making much sense in a fighting game. Moving on to our final three stages, we have some more generic, just Disney-themed stages. Starting off with Main Street USA, an iconic location from all Disney parks. This would be a basic stage, but you could see the Cinderella Castle in the background, and also people riding around, and of course, horse carriages and trolleys, iconic movement vehicles in Disneyland that you could probably hitch a ride on, or they could damage you, depending on how you want to think of it. Another stage I thought of would be the Disney Cruise. It could be any of the ships, but the top layer would be the water area with water slides and pools. And then I'd imagine this stage to be kind of similar to Tomodachi Life, where you can move down to different tiers, such as actual rooms on the ship, one of the many amazing restaurants, the kids areas where you can meet iconic characters, and a theater where you can watch some other Disney-themed shows about other movies, such as Tangled, which is what I saw on my Disney cruise. And then finally, ending off on a high note, we have the Haunted Mansion. You could see all of the 999 happy haunts as you move through this moving stage, with iconic characters such as the hitchhiking and Hatbox ghosts, and of course, the bride, Constance Hatchaway. This would be a very fun stage to play on. That is all I have for today's video. Disney Smash Brawl will be starting off with a bang with Meta Knight, who I'm pretty sure all of you already know who it is, but I'm still not going to spoil it. That should be coming out tomorrow. And then Pit, which is a very controversial, as in many people have different ideas that kind of clash with each other on this character. And you guys are going to be so shocked, as it has not been a character anyone has suggested before. So that's going to be very interesting. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, as you might be featured like these lovely commenters you see on screen right now. And also, ring the notification bell, because, cool. And commenting also gives me engagement and more success on the YouTube algorithm. And also, thanks everyone for 130 subscribers. Wow. Gosh, Let's see if we can get to 200 by possibly next March. That's a pretty short time considering how we last got to 100, but I don't know. Or maybe 150. That might be a bit more reasonable, but if I grow more, who knows? We might get there. All right, bye.